Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, August the 7th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you with you, as always, is none of them, Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Greetings.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hey, man. How you doing, man? How's the microdosing going?
It's
I love
macro.
these new macro.
He's macrodosing. Yeah, he's macrodosing.
Lion's mane is good, man. I feel different.
I am different.
We all are different.
It almost makes me, forget about Brian Cashman's inadequacy.
Come on, Jess Chisholm is the greatest pickup the Yankees have made in years.
Now, hold on. Now, how many people? How many times?
First,
I
he's going to hit home runs the rest of the season.
I think we need to do an over/under on how many times an announcer is going to call him Chaz Chisholm.
No, at least many times more.
Yeah.
So, how many times do people call him, "Hey, fuckface, stop swinging at pitches in the dirt"?
Well, when
you would rather be called Chaz Chisholm or Jizz Chasm?
Chaz Chisholm is a great name.
He's got a jizz chasm.
It's the ultimate porn star name. Yeah. All you need is a 12-inch cock, and you can call yourself Chaz.
I like jizz chasm.
Can you imagine?
Jizz Chasm doesn't
the
quite.
plate. That's Jizz Chasm.
Jizz Chasm is more
Yankee.
That's a saxophone player who played with Dizzy Gillespie. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Anyway,
moving right along. So how are the dog days of summer treating you two fine gentlemen?
Hot as hell. We've had more 90-degree days this year, and we're hit 100. It's just too hot.
It's
too hot.
Yeah.
Too hot.
Everywhere is hot.
You got to run for cover.
You got to
run for shade.
And you got a win last night. Your Rockies.
We did. I watched that game. I was actually kind of rooting for the Mets, but they just
suck.
Stunk it up.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Well, look. Here's the thing. They went from Anaheim to St. Louis back to Denver in 30 hours,
and still.
So they were going to lose that game. I knew they were going to lose that game. Yeah, well, I was shocked.
They came out pretty hot.
Mm-hmm. But they just left too many men on base, which is, it's been their MO for how many years? But what are you going to do? Who knows?
The New York teams are very good at leaving runners in scoring position. God.
Yeah, that really sucks. But yeah, what are you gonna do? I don't know.
I don't know. What do I know?
All right, we got a couple memes. Not as many as normal. Not as many as normal.
Good.
Not as many as normal.
That was one of the things our Yelp reviewers were saying is less Asian food memes.
There you go.
They're just jealous.
More over-unders.
They're just jealous because they don't have their own podcast. They want to bring us down, man.
Well, of course. Hey, man. I'll take some trolls.
Why not?
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. So we're going to start off with this one. It's a couple of things from TV. Like these are actual shots that were nothing's made up. This is actual shots from a TV broadcast. Okay, so these three. So this first one is in China. There was a diving duo, last name Long, last name Wang. So together they're Wang.
Their brother.
Their brother pole vaulted the other
day.
This guy used to be a pole vaulter.
And he did it. And he did it without his pole vault, without his pole.
Yeah. We'll talk about him when we get to the Olympics. But Long Wang. I can't see what I see a 9, 2 9s, an 8.5, and an 8.3 maybe.
Yeah, that's long.
That's pretty long. There you go. So kudos to them. Kudos to Long Wang. There you go. All right, moving on to the next one. This one here is tropical timeline. Sunday night, 10 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts. Monday night, 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts. Monday night, 15 to 2,530 mile per hour wind gusts.
That's a lot.
That's pretty windy Monday night.
But they're only going to get to 45 miles per hour. So
yeah,
who knows?
Who knows what that is? And there's only a half an inch of rain. Yeah, of course it's only half an inch of rain because the wind's going to blow it away from there. They're not going to get any.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, once you get much above 1,500, it really doesn't make a difference.
Yeah,
it really doesn't.
You can't have the long wang all the time.
You can't have long wang all the time. This is very true.
I guess you can.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could try. You know, you can do your best. Yeah. But anyway,
yeah.
And to round it out with these quick 3 TV memes, if you will, is this 3. One number 3, Wichita. Thursday is going to be very, very hot in Wichita.
Yeah.
400. Yeah.
So it's gonna be 104 on Wednesday, and it's going all the way up to 400 degrees.
Well, let's look at Wednesday though. Like, so what is that saying? It's it's cloudy, sunny, and all hell is going to break.
Cloudy, sunny, rainy, thunderstorms, 104 degrees, and I think there's
Beelzebub is going to come down, hence the 400-degree day the next day.
Right, exactly, but no rain or storm.
It looks like molten lava coming from a giant coal.
Right, exactly.
Giant piece of coal.
And look at the meteorologist there. He could definitely be Satan's minion.
You think so?
Yeah.
He's been waiting for 35 years for this.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's like, it's finally coming.
Right.
I've been on the right side all along.
He also looks like he only has 4 fingers on his right hand.
I think he only does. He does have 4 fingers on his right hand. Yeah. He's got 3 fingers and a thumb. You're right.
And then honestly, after that, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it should just say
it's beautiful.
Who cares?
Right.
No, who cares?
But it's nice. It's nice weather. Comparable.
Once it's 400 degrees, who cares what comes after that?
Right. But my point is, if you get up to 400, 99 is going to feel relatively balmy.
It is. It's going to feel great for all three living creatures that survived.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. That's my point. There's going to be 4 people left alive.
Yeah.
They'll have their pick of shorts and tank tops.
Exactly. Right. Do whatever they want to do. There you go. All right.
Well, to any of our listeners in Wichita, let us know how it went.
Let us know how it goes tomorrow, please.
Are we on in Wichita?
I think we are on in Wichita.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. So please let us know. All right. Anyway.
WKEP in Wichita, Kansas.
Exactly.
Cool dreams of Wichita.
So my question to you, gents, is talking about the Olympics. Just jumping into the Olympics. Why the hell not? Because we're here. We're doing it. We're there. Mr. Pole vault himself. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's quite proud of that. Not of the flub and the pole vault, obviously, but the reason for the flub.
The chub before the flub.
Right, the chub before the flub.
Why was he rock hard going into the pole?
I guess he was excited. I mean,
Well, I remember maybe a couple Olympics ago they were talking about they used like some ridiculous amount of condoms during the Olympics, like 15,000 condoms or something outrageous like that. So maybe that's something to like he should have used.
Did they say what they used them for?
I think protection. In other words, all the athletes were screwing each other.
Oh, all right. Now you make sense. I thought they were using them like in their.
No, they weren't making balloon animals out of them or anything. So there was a lot of sex going on at the Olympics. Was the point here? And I think now we know the reason why. This guy needed to get laid the night before so that he, wouldn't have a little.
So we wouldn't have that incident. And
they wouldn't have to carry that second pole all the way down the runway.
I think his cock was used as the balance beam at one point.
Yeah. Well, he was due to be in the gymnastics event as a what's that? I couldn't even think of it. I had it. It's gone.
Blew the joke.
The horse. Yeah, but what does they call it?
Pommel horse.
Pommel horse.
It'll be a pommel horse. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Enough of that.
But no. On that note, though, and this is absolutely true. He has gotten several calls from porn sites.
Well, his OnlyFans is going to be amazing. It's going to be a wide angle lens of him, pole vaulting over a bed.
Right.
Yeah, there's probably I would imagine there would be
A market
and
for
Olympic athletes spread in. Is Playgirl? Does that even still exist anymore?
Yeah,
maybe.
There'd probably be some nudie mag that has
available at your
Olympic
local
athletes in it.
newsstand. Come on, Pete.
No, but your local CVS.
What?
Nobody buys hard media porn anymore.
No, well, that's what I'm asking. Does it still exist?
I don't know.
I know Playboy still exists. I see it in magazines.
Back of your van.
I see it when it comes in the mail. I see it.
Yeah, but the date on yours is 1976.
Well, I got a back subscription. Like they're sending me old issues. They started at one point and then they're going forward at that.
Right.
But no, I see it like you go into even Barnes and Noble and stuff like that. I mean, they
sure.
But
who's buying that stuff? Old guys.
It's wrapped in plastic, so you can't like thumb through it where you are. You got to buy it to read it. But I haven't seen anything else. I mean, I just happened to notice. It's not like I'm looking for it, right? If I,
that'd be great if
or your computer.
When was the last time you walked into somebody's house and they just had some fucking Playboys out?
Some porn on the coffee table there,
jugs.
You're like, no, go ahead, take a shower before we leave. I
remember seeing the Playboys, and Penthouse was a little bad, but then you finally went to that one place where they had like Hustler and Jugs, and you're like, oh, yeah. There's these photographers were not paid as much.
No.
Nor were the models. Yeah.
When I lived in New Paltz and worked at the restaurant. We used to be closed on Mondays. So on Mondays, I still had the van back then. So on Mondays, there was a bunch of us staff from the restaurant. We would pile in the van at like 6 a.m, and we would drive up to Jiminy Peak, which was, I think, like just over the Massachusetts border in northern New York or whatever.
It's a long way to go for porn.
It wasn't that long of a drive. It was a long drive, and then we would ski all day.
From where you were wasn't far. Yeah.
No, it wasn't too far. And then we would ski all day, and they had good night skiing, and then we would leave at like 9 o'clock at night and drive back, and all be exhausted the next day. So, and we'd have like 6 of us in the van with the skis and snowboards and whatnot. And as we were coming down, there's this kid named Ryan who worked there, and he was a cook there. And we stopped at probably a 7-Eleven or some sort of store. We just wanted to get something to drink or whatever. And he goes in, and I'm standing at the counter behind him, and he gets like a Yoo-hoo and some sort of chips or whatever. And then they had the rack of magazines is behind the counter. Mm. And he goes, and Cherry magazine, which was spelled Cheri. Mm-hmm. And it was definitely one of the low rent kind of porno.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't even know existed up to that time. And sure enough, he sat in the back of the van, thumbing through the magazine, and some of the other people were like, "What do you got there?"
I remember the old school barbershops, used to have some good old fashioned, we see some guy just sitting there looking at
but
they were always about 4 or 5 years old,
Yoo-hoo and Funyuns and the current edition of Cherry magazine.
Yoo-hoo, Funyuns, and Cherry magazine.
Yeah,
that was wonderful.
I could smell that van now.
And I wasn't the only one. Like probably most of the group was in the store. I don't think I could have done that. I don't think I would have been bold enough to buy a porno mag in front of my coworkers.
It depends on who your coworkers are.
Well, this is true.
Well, not the group not people I had to work with every day. I don't think I could have done it.
I don't think if you were on Wall Street, you would want to go to lunch and then on the way back, just go, "Hey, mind if I stop here? I'm just going to grab a..."
Let me... Stop at the little stand on the street.
Grab the latest issue of Dirty Whores.
Give me a copy of the Times.
Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal and Slits magazine.
Yeah.
I'll meet you guys back at the office.
Big hangers. The March issue is fantastic. All right. Well,
so
anybody's still listening.
Hope you enjoyed our Olympic coverage.
Yeah, that was the Olympics, folks. There you go.
The Olympics.
We got a lot of that. Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I've watched less than I thought I would by now. I've watched less coverage than I thought I would.
The track and field is going on the last several days.
The little midget guy win the what was that, the 1500 last night? That was a pretty big upset. And saw the women take first and third in the. By the way, I have a question for you guys. What the fuck is steeplechase? This is just like, all right, the hurdles aren't good enough. What we're going to do is we're going to put a balance beam every 300 feet or so. And then behind one of them, we're going to put a kiddie pool that you got to jump through. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I
think that's an English thing.
Was it
maybe
horses?
Steeplechase, right? That was an equestrian event.
Steeplechase was equestrian, yeah.
They were like, well, we can't take horses everywhere, so
and a ride or an event or whatever at Coney Island.
By the way, is the hobby horse, the women and men who run around on the little hobby horses and jump over things, is that in the Olympics this year? I think we're missing out on something if it's not.
Like the phony dressage.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, you know what? That's
I think it's called hobble horse.
It could be. Let me.
We don't need to spend any time on it. It was just a joke and a rhetorical question. Yeah, all right, that's next.
Let me throw some events at you, and you tell me if you think they're real events.
Okay.
Not to say that they're real events, but should they be Olympic events? Is my question.
Right.
Or are they Olympic events?
No. These are all.
They're all Olympic events. Should they be?
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll do this really quickly.
Okay.
3-on-3 basketball.
Yes. However, did you notice that the people playing 3-on-3 basketball are the least athletic basketball players you've ever seen?
Yeah.
It's almost like three guys at the park. I mean, is there some stipulation?
It's like nobody knew it was an event, and that every country had to scramble to put their team
together. They have to be 40-year-old white guys? Is that kind of?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
I'd say no. I don't think basketball in any form could be an Olympic event.
Here's the thing: if the 3-on-3 basketball, if the U.S. team, if two of them were Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson, then I'd watch it.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me throw some other canoe slalom.
Canoe slalom. Isn't that
really?
That's a winter event?
No, it's a summer.
Not toboggan slalom.
No, I'm saying they take a canoe and you have to get it down the mountain in the snow.
That's.
I don't know.
It's a canoe. It's on the water. It's a slalom on the water.
I'm gonna say, look, these people train forever to whatever. Cool, go for it. I don't care. Yeah, why not?
Canoe slalom. Canoe slalom is probably a bit of a reach for me.
Yeah, I'd say it's a bit of a reach. All right. BMX freestyle cycling.
You know
Look, here's where I'm gonna say. All right, anybody who looks like some rat that came down an alley, and I don't think any of this shit should be in the Olympics. Right. If you're riding a BMX bike or a skateboard, it should not be in the fucking Olympics. The X Games are bad enough. Sorry.
Agreed.
Well, I agree. I mean, cycling is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I just love those seeing.
BMX.
I love seeing like skateboarders from like Denmark who are dressed like, 1983 skate punks from Southern California. I love that there's not only is it a sport, but there's a look that you have to go along with it.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody looks like Avril Lavigne. It's fantastic.
All right. Golf.
Well, that's weird, right?
Look, why?
No. Yeah, I'm just no. No.
So should tennis be in the Olympics?
No, it shouldn't.
I like both of them.
Tennis shouldn't. Golf shouldn't.
I like both.
Shouldn't.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Would I care if they weren't? No.
But it's how they got to play it, right? It's where they play it. It's not. It doesn't. It's a. Yeah, I just no. I mean, you can make like is there football in the Winter Olympics or you know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
There will be. There will be.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is there's not enough teams in other countries to compete against. Basketball didn't exist forever in the Olympics. When it did, it was amateur. So let me ask you this. Tennis, basketball, golf, if it was if it was back to where only the amateurs could play, would you be all right with that?
Basketball, I would be. Golf, no. Tennis, no.
Okay.
But yes,
Yeah,
basketball, amateur basketball is a traditional.
So you only want sports that do not have professional leagues to be allowed in the Olympics.
No, I don't care if it has
How about hockey?
Professional league.
Why is hockey all
right? Because of Mike Ruzioni.
Well, but that was again. That goes to my point of prior to the pros plan. How about women's soccer? How about men's soccer?
Prior to the pros.
How about soccer? How about?
No, not really.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So it should just really be biathlon and track and field.
No, not necessarily. I mean, track and field, swimming,
water polo, volleyball, beach volleyball, gymnastics.
Yeah, those are Olympic sports, not golf.
Sports that don't
surfing and tennis.
Sports that don't have professional leagues.
Non-contact sports.
No, there's every sport has a professional league.
There's no professional gymnastics.
Okay, with the exception of gymnastics.
There's no professional swimming league. There's no professional track and field league.
Yeah, but you do have competitions outside of the Olympics.
Right. Of course, all sports have. If you didn't, they wouldn't have any Olympics.
I don't think you have to limit it to only sports that don't have a professional league. I just think certain sports,
just sports that Pete deems unOlympicable.
It's just an opinion. I'm just asking
here's a question.
Here.
Here's a question. Not to interrupt your question, Harry, but if I recall, Mr. Jim Thorpe was stripped of his Olympic medals because he was found out to have taken money to play in some game at some point before he went pro football or anything else. Before he was on the Giants or like that.
Yeah.
But whatever. But has he been posthumously given those medals back?
No.
Because now you can be a professional and compete in the Olympics?
I don't know. Did they? I know there was some noise about it, but I don't remember hearing that he got him back.
Here's the thing.
100 years ago, we're talking about, right? But
right.
Yeah.
Every country needs to feel good. So China loves the under 150 weightlifting competitions. The Americans love basketball because for the most part, no one's going to fucking beat us. It's
except Lithuania in 2004, but that's
back in the day, the Russians loved that. So it's just, I don't know.
You know what it is? Smell test. There's a smell test. If you say Olympic surfing, I go, no.
There's too many events. I don't even know when the decathlon is on anymore. The primetime coverage is gymnastics and synchronized swimming because I do believe, and this is a good thing, and this is maybe a different perspective on this. I think more women watch the Olympics than watch sports in general, but they're not watching golf, tennis, and
no, they're not
ice hockey. They're watching figure skating.
Some are, but overall,
come on, we can still generalize without fucking upsetting the entire goddamn world.
Right.
Okay. My point being is that there's big draws in the Olympics, and everybody knows what that is. I thought the overall, women's competition in gymnastics, that was the most fun and most competitive thing that I saw.
It was great.
I think it was kind of amazing that Simone Biles did not win the floor routine, and I thought she was very classy when whoever won it. I can't remember her name right now. There's been a lot of upsets. There's been a lot of people who recently won in world competition who didn't win, and there's been some really good success stories. Mm-hmm. I do think that when I think about Summer Olympics, I think of gymnastics, swimming, and track and field. That's what the Summer Olympics are about. And the Winter Olympics to me are about skiing, figure skating, and hockey. Mm-hmm. Those are the big draws.
And toboggan and luge.
Like I said.
Yeah. I think people will watch those.
So you don't like curling?
Do I like curling?
When you're at the gym, you like it, right?
I like it better than the game fucking doughy white men play at the breweries that's now on ESPN every Sunday morning. What is it called? Fucking shithole or something?
Cornhole?
Yeah, there
cornhole. Yeah, that'll probably be a test event next year or
I'm
next
sure.
Olympics.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's
I
on
think
ESPN
there's too many events.
What about badminton?
Again, I'm not opposed to having it, but it's not a big draw. Although I am fascinated by the ping pong, table tennis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, badminton can be very exciting, and curling is good if the first couple stones have been thrown and you sort of click on, and you don't have to spend that first few minutes. You know, sort of the strategy has been set up. Then it can be kind of.
I will say this, and I did not have the sound on, but synchronized swimming. Yeah. Some fascinating watching. I have no idea who won and what's good and what's bad, but.
I agree. You know what I like to do? I like to watch synchronized swimming with the sound off and Ozzy on.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say I like to watch it with the sound off in my Cherry magazine.
Well, you know.
Hey, that's called a callback, ladies and gentlemen.
I will say this, though. I have talked about, look, every generation thinks theirs is the greatest in sports. Right?
No, I don't think.
But I always feel like.
But ours was.
Nah, the generation before us was.
That's true.
Those guys who played in the 70s and 60s were way better than the people who played in the 80s and 90s.
Well, I feel like we're lucky, though, because we got to see Jordan, you know, and I mean, we didn't really get to see Wilt, but we got to see Jordan, right. And we got to see greatness of all kinds.
Kareem and Bird. I wish I got to see more Havlicek.
Yeah.
And Wilt.
You know,
and
we got to see a couple of rounds of great tennis, right? We got to see Borg and McEnroe and Connors and Sampras and Edberg, and then we got to see Djokovic and Nadal and you know Federer and all that.
Yeah.
But we've also gotten to see
Michael Chang.
Not that I'm a huge gymnastics fan, but we've gotten to see Simone Biles.
Yeah,
and who is the greatest ever? And
I can imagine. And I could imagine what that is, because look at the impact Nadia Comaneci had on people, especially young people. I mean, I remember being a kid and being like, "Whoa, this is unbelievable." They made a movie about her.
Sure.
Yeah. Simone Biles is one of the greatest. But
and then 8 years later, Mary Lou Retton. And Bella Caroli was the common theme between the two of them.
All around. But yeah,
Bella Lugosi. I never knew that he was such a great gymnastics guy.
He was the assistant. Caroli Lugosi.
And we also
Caroli Lugosi, right?
And I mean, if you really want to talk about our generation, our generation is really defined more by Nancy Kerrigan and
Tanya Harding.
Yeah. We should consider ourselves fortunate that we get to witness the career of Simone Biles in its entirety.
Right. I mean, Carl.
But skateboarding is not an Olympic event.
Yeah. Look, those guys are really talented.
Sure.
I just,
no one's disputing that. I'm just,
where does it stop? That's the question. When is the big wheel? I mean, if you really want to make the Olympics interesting, then we should have a demolition derby.
Not a bad idea.
I mean,
maybe how about jousting on bicycles?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I would probably watch that.
Yeah.
But USA's kicking ass, of course.
You can combine the BMX and the pole vault into jousting on bicycles.
Ooh, yeah.
Or lawn darts. Combine BMX and lawn darts. Where's the lawn darts when you need them?
Overhand lawn darts.
Is billiards an Olympic event?
It might be a test event.
I think bowling
has been in the past.
Is bowling in the Olympics? I mean,
yeah.
Long distance cross country bowling.
Yeah, outdoor. Well, they have that. What's curling is kind of like outdoor bowling, right?
That's kind of true. Yeah. That's
I don't
funny.
know.
All right.
I'm for all of it. Here's the thing, though. It takes me 25 minutes to find what channels the Olympics are on with no idea of what they're going to show. So for some reason, E is covering the Olympics. Anyway,
It's on. I mean, well, E is owned by NBC Universal, right?
I don't need it. I'm just saying.
They're getting the spillover.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes what you want to watch.
Right.
I just want Bob Costas and NBC filtering what's worthwhile watching.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with streaming is it's a lot of times the old program guide is not particularly accurate.
And here's my.
I'll be honest with you. Almost every single time I've put some coverage on, what's been listed as being covered was not on.
Yeah. Here's my hot take that no one's gonna like. Volleyball's fucking boring. I'm sorry. I hate volleyball. If you really
volleyball or beach volleyball.
If you want to make it interesting, have the gymnasts play volleyball.
You mean, beach volleyball is kind of.
I think they found a way to make beach volleyball exciting.
Did they? That's not my thing.
For people. For some people.
It's not my thing. Yeah.
I actually like to watch real volleyball, like collegiate volleyball.
Right. Yeah, that's
But beach volleyball just doesn't.
I don't know.
It just doesn't hold my attention for more.
I don't have that many hours left to dedicate to this shit. I just don't.
Because most of the points are over pretty quickly.
I want to spend my time watching Clay Holmes blow.
That's the problem with beach volleyball.
Back to whichever one of you said it, I forget, but to whichever one of yours point, the ping pong. Holy shit.
Wow.
I mean,
why are they talking to the ball? Are these the kids of Mark Fidrich? What's going on?
It's insanely fast.
Except the serve. You ever notice the serve is like really weak and kind of weird, and then all of a sudden,
because
it's crazy.
Spinning in some crazy. Like ping pong is one of those things that probably everyone has done at one point or another, right? And you've had friends that were really good. They had a ping pong table growing up, and they were really good, and you were hanging out in their basement, and everybody was playing, and or you'd go to the rec center and play a little bit. But to do what those people do,
but imagine if we just
the amount of time spent and the dedication
to represent.
It's insane.
I think we should send Gronk to represent the U.S. in ping pong. Imagine that.
Oh, now I can't get that image out of my mind.
He would just smash it. It would hit some guy in the eye, and
for life. Yeah, exactly.
I win.
But I mean, we have all sorts of
Gronk win.
Boxing's in the Olympics, right? Do we have the other stuff? The MMA bullshit.
MMA.
No, MMA is not in the Olympics.
Is it MMA?
It's MMA. Yeah.
MMA. Yeah. Man Meat Associates or something.
Man Meat Associates. Yeah. Mixed martial arts.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, is that in the Olympics? I don't know. No. Boxing is, all right.
Boxing is,
yeah.
And can the pros box in the Olympics?
No, I don't think so. Olympic boxing has traditionally been a stepping stone to the pros.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, so is basketball. So is a lot of things.
Well, but that's
different.
In other words, because back when basketball was an amateur sport, it was generally the older players in the game or the best players in the college.
It was college kids
going. Yeah.
Did you know that
boxing, if you won an Olympic medal, you were going pro.
Right. Judo and karate, isn't that it?
Did you know that badminton was an Olympic sport before beach volleyball was?
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, again, badminton, that's the same type of thing.
Yeah,
probably.
It was a very regal. The kings and queens are playing it.
No, but everybody's played it at some point. Maybe probably many people have. Maybe not the kids today, but in our generation, you probably played badminton at some point.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to wake up and go down. I couldn't wait to wake up and go down the street and do the steeplechase.
But to do what those guys do,
no.
rackets,
You did the steeplechase on your way down the block to play badminton.
Badminton.
Right, exactly.
But to do what those guys do, that's you could never do that.
How come stickball is not an Olympic event? Come on.
We used to play badminton in gym in high school.
We did.
I want stickball. And how about hot dog eating? Come on.
It's
volleyball and gym in high school was good. Actually,
dodgeball. Why isn't dodgeball an Olympic event?
There you go. It's on the Ocho. Well, should be an Olympic event.
All right, that's enough. Enough Olympics. Fuck the Olympics.
All right. Right, we can't do that. YouTube will nix the video if we sing too much of that. Anyway, all right. How about baseball? How about them? How do we feel at this point in the season for our teams and all teams?
Let me interrupt you there.
Oh, geez, interrupt, please.
How about get the theme ready? How about we do a little "Are They for Real" first?
All right, baseball version.
Baseball version before everything that I ask you guys gets answered.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
What is real?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah.
Are you for real? For real? For real? For real?
Are they for real?
What is real?
All right. Are they for real? Baseball edition. I'm going to throw some mini races at you. That is to say, could be for division titles, perhaps. It could be for wild card, something like that.
Sure.
And I want you to tell me, this is the post-trade deadline. Are they for real? I'll give you two teams. I'll give you a number of two-team races, and you tell me which ones.
Which race is real, or which team is real?
No. Which of these? This context is which of these two-team races or mini races is going to come down to the wire. That's what being for real means.
All right.
Which one's coming down to the wire?
All right.
And I'll give you several choices here.
Give it to us.
First up, Yankees and Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely for a division. Will it come down to the wire? Is it for real?
Yeah.
We're going to go with Minnesota and Kansas City. Most likely not for a division title, but perhaps for a wild card, or perhaps just for second place in the Central.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go with Houston and the Mariners.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, somebody on this podcast, when Houston was still in the shitter, said, "Look out, the Astros are going to win the West." I don't know who that was, but
it was you.
I think that was
yeah, it was
somebody.
We're also gonna give you Cardinals and the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Currently battling it out for second place in the Central.
Yep.
And if it was last week, I would have said the Dodgers and the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Dodgers are going to get healthy and run away with it, or not necessarily run away with it, but win big. So we'll go Diamondbacks, who, by the way,
they're also on a rise.
Had the best record in baseball in July. Did the Arizona Diamondbacks?
They went to the World
Diamondbacks.
Series. Went to the World Series.
Padres.
Yeah.
So Arizona, San Diego, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle and Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, Kansas City. And the Yankees and Orioles.
There you go.
Which of those mini races are going down to the wire?
Yankees and Orioles are going down to the wire. Twins and Royals for that position, and it depends on exactly what transpires. I don't think Minnesota. I don't think either of them are challenging the Guardians by any means.
No, that's not what it's about. Which one of them is going to be better, or is that?
I'll tell you what. They're the two.
Are we comparing them to each other, or just taking five individual?
No, to each other. Which race is this race going to be real? I say yes, it will be, and I'll tell you what. They're the two scariest teams that you might have to play in the first round.
Minnesota and Kansas City.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean they're, you know what? I mean, clearly picking two teams in each of the 5 of the 6 divisions, and we know why you stayed away from the NL East. Thank you. But
Well, the Braves and Mets are kind of battling each other.
I thought about it, but no.
All right. So,
yeah,
I mean, so wait, Harry, you think Yankees and Orioles going to come down to the
yeah. We could go through this quicker. Yeah, yes on the American League East, yes on the Central. If you want my opinion on the West, I think Houston wins by at least 3 games over Seattle. I don't know if that means it's going to stay tight, but I think Houston pulls ahead and wins that division. I think the battle in that division, when it's all said and done, will be between Seattle and Texas for second place in a wild card spot.
You know what? I hear what you're saying, and it wouldn't shock me if that were the case. But I really believe Seattle is still going to keep pressing on and challenging Houston for number 1.
I do too. Okay.
So I do. So down to the wire, it depends on, is the wire the last day or the last week? That's what we're talking about here. So yes, that's coming down to the wire.
Yeah, is it going to be close with?
It's going to be a race.
A few days left.
Are we still looking at this race for each of these in the last few days?
St. Louis and the Pirates. I've been waiting all year for the Cardinals to kind of become the Cardinals that we always know. I do think that these two teams are both really mediocre. So I do think that they'll both be around 500 by the end of the year.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, is that race for who's better than the other one? Not necessarily the wild card. Just I mean, both of these teams could be battling it out for who's better than the other one at the last day of the season, but have nothing to do after that.
Yeah,
right. Exactly. They're probably not going to catch Milwaukee. They could be battling it out for wild card. They could be battling it out for who's better than the other.
Just bragging rights for second in the NL Central.
Yeah, there's not going to be much movement there. I don't think
there's going to be much movement. I think they're both going to be right around 500. I agree with Harry. They're going to both be right around 500. It wouldn't shock me if Pittsburgh's, a game or 2 better than St. Louis, but it's probably going to be St. Louis a game or 2 better than Pittsburgh. There you go.
And then finally, Diamondbacks Padres.
Diamondbacks are on a tear. They are. They're right now. Because of their July, they're currently the best team in baseball, right? So,
does it to fall apart too?
Right? Does it continue? Who knows? Time will tell. Clearly, I'm not saying anything that anybody doesn't know, but the Padres are right there too. I think this one goes. I think this was probably, of all 5 of these, decided sooner than the others, but still pushing the last week and a half of the season. We're still looking at what they could be. So there you go.
Harry?
Sure. Yeah.
You concur?
I think they're both, looking. I mean, the Padres are 12-3. Right, since the All-Star break, the Yankees are 10-6.
Right.
So that's kind of, I think, a better indicator of what's going on. I have no idea what the Diamondbacks' records is because they don't have it on this what I'm looking at right now. But I think that they're both going to be right there. They're both good teams. I mean, it was only. We were waiting for the Diamondbacks to get back to where they should be.
Right.
So, John, you're saying all 5 are going to be close. Harry, you think 4, with the exception of you think Houston is going to be.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at the end of the season. We'll see how far these teams are apart.
Yeah, please. Let's keep note of it.
All right. I got it written down.
Works for me.
And that's it.
And that's it.
That's Are They For Real?
That's Are They For Real? Awesome. Cool. And just in time. Look at that. That's perfect.
How about that?
Look at that.
Let me throw a couple quick things at you.
Go for it.
I don't know if you guys know this, but the Red Sox, I don't think it was both this year, but maybe in consecutive years. Not sure. Drafted the son of one David Ortiz, as well as the son of one Manny Ramirez.
Is that right? I did not
Yes,
know that.
they are both in the organization.
Hopefully, they're both as good as the son of LeBron James.
So, but will they?
And ironically, their names are Manny Ortiz and David Ramirez.
David Ramirez. David Poppy Ramirez.
David Poppy Ramirez.
All right. So White Sox, 21 straight losses. They tie the 88 Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that finally woke them up because then they went out and they won.
And they won yesterday. Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So kind of wanted to see a new record set, but.
So hold on, we gotta pull it up here. Chicago White Sox, and they lost today.
Yeah, so back on the pony.
So they won. They're back on.
They're like, yeah. They're like, yeah. It was like, who was the Mets pitcher? Was it Anthony Young?
Yeah.
They lost like 23 games in a row or something,
Yep.
and then he won one, and then I think he lost his next
And he
5
lost
or
it.
something.
Right.
So
Yeah. This Chicago White Sox team is going to beat the 62 Mets as the all-time worst team.
yeah, they're abysmal.
Yeah, I mean they have to
really
they have less than 2 months to win 12 more games, and they've had over 4 months and they've only won 28 games. So yeah, I don't. It's going to be close, but yeah. So I mean, and that Mets team only played what 160, right? So it was they were 40 and 120.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, well, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that as well.
It's another milestone for them to shoot for.
Mm-hmm.
And last thing I got, I think, past the trade deadline, a guy who did not get traded. Don't know if you heard the story of Garrett Crochet from the aforementioned White Sox, who is.
I hear he makes nice blankets.
Maybe.
I knew that was coming.
You knew it was coming. I had to say it.
I was gonna. Yeah. 6-8 with a 3.19 ERA and a WHIP just over 1, which is not bad for being on a terrible team.
It's not bad for being on that team. No,
and there was trade talk that he was going here, he was going there, and he said to the White Sox, "If you trade me, you better let the other team know I won't pitch unless I get a contract extension, and then I won't pitch in the postseason." And he did not get traded. So the point I'm making is that wipe our brows because an NBA situation has been avoided in Major League Baseball, at least for now.
Right.
Because if they had traded him and someone had acquiesced, that could have opened the floodgates for what we all detest, which is, and in the National Football League as well.
Right.
Which is players dictating where they go, who their coaches are.
Right. You know what my response to him in the offseason would be for a new contract? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Goodbye. We don't need you. We're going to be terrible.
We're going to be with or without you. So.
Without your 6-8 record. But I just wanted to bring that up. So kudos to every other team in Major League Baseball.
There are guys who are dying. Do you know what Todd Helton would have given for another chance to play in the postseason? I mean, there are guys that are begging to be traded so that they can have that elusive chance of playing in the World Series. Right. And this guy's just like, yeah, I'm not going to pitch, even though it's in my contract until I get an extension. Well, you know what? Go out there and win a couple games in the postseason. And you're going to be paid a lot of money because even mediocre pitchers get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. And he would be traded or would have been traded to a team that is either expected or certainly hoping to get just to that next little level to where they would get to the postseason.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So that's the reason he would go somewhere, is to help a team get over that hump.
He would have been a much better starter than what the Yankees rolled out in Game 2 tonight. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, imagine he could have lot of teams he could have helped.
He's a perfect sign for Brian Cashman. I mean, a mediocre guy coming from a shitty team who you're going to overpay to say you did something. I mean, you could have been living high on the hog there, buddy. But now you're stuck in White Sox land. Good for you.
Yeah,
I hope you go to the A's next year.
So Major League Baseball dodged a bullet, but we will see if that gives anybody else any ideas where the situation could come up again. Mean, I can't. Can you really say, "Oh, it's not just a matter of time"?
Yeah, it's a matter of time.
Like it is a matter of time
until this game is also ruined.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of time. 100%.
I'm sure the Mets will sign James Harden next year.
By the way, what do you guys think is the best signing? Well, the best trade deal in baseball?
Best trade would have to be Chaz Chisholm.
No,
I'm kidding.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to remember all the.
Seattle got Justin Turner and Randy Arozarena.
Yeah, I mean, Arozarena is great. Turner's.
Yeah.
Turner's a decent bat.
Padres got the closer from the Marlins. Cleveland got Lane Thomas from the Nationals, who's a decent player. The
Dodgers getting Flaherty, and then
the Braves got Soler back, right?
And then
that was the big part of their run a couple of years ago.
What? Who got the closer from the Marlins?
Padres.
Yeah, for nothing. And Brian Cashman wouldn't give up that for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
it wasn't the Mets or the Yankees.
No,
it wasn't. Certainly was not.
No,
yeah.
Definitely was not.
I think the Dodgers getting Jack Flaherty was probably, maybe the biggest. I think the Mariners definitely. I think Arozarena is going to help them. His numbers are down this year, but he's a great outfielder. I mean, look at the Padres. They got two pitchers. That's not bad. And
Orioles got a couple of pitchers, but
Orioles got
I don't know if there's anything that's going to put them. It's going to make them better, but maybe not kick them into the next level.
No, they're 4-6 in their last 10. But it was an uneventful trade deadline to some degree.
Yes,
but
indeed.
Hey, it's some people are hot on the Mariners. We'll see. I don't think Justin Turner gets me all that excited anymore.
Well, maybe change of scenery. Flips a switch.
Who knows? At some point, Father Time and Mother Nature are undefeated when it comes to athletics.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
What
baseball, you bet. I mean, the fact that the Dodgers are still where they're at is a testament to the Dodgers.
Yeah, they're still not healthy.
No.
I mean, they're still missing a few big pieces, and that's what I think.
And then Freddie Freeman was out for 2 weeks. So
yeah, I think they're going to get healthy, and they're going to be fine.
Yeah. All right. Of course, just a little side note: as soon as I get on the Mets bandwagon and have gloom and doom for my Yankees, the Yankees go 8-2, and the Mets are losing to the Rockies. So it's I just goddamn. Anyway, I'm gonna owe you a hat.
Listen, I think ultimately this is going to be. I mean, compared to the last couple of years, I guess it'll be a positive year for the Mets in certain senses, but certainly not going to be a great year to brag about.
Well, I mean, they're still in the hunt for the.
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean,
wild
considering
card.
where they started,
Yeah,
yes, it's
they're a game and a half. They're a game and a half. And you talked about races. I do think at the end of the day, the Braves and Mets are going to be battling not only for that last wild card spot, but they're both going to be battling for maybe the two most disappointing teams this year, based on expectations.
Yeah,
John
yeah.
back or no? No.
No, he just disappeared. He was frozen there for a little bit. But.
Well, look, it's the dog days of baseball. It's heating up a little bit. The Yankees win a good one today, and you get Luis Hill to come back and pitch a good game, and then they wheel out Will Warren, and he gets blasted by the Angels, and they're down 8-2. Not to talk too much about it, but Brian Cashman failed. This is a team that has to win now. There's no guarantee you're going to have this combo of Judge and Soto ever again. Garrett Cole's, it's been a rough year for him, but they needed a closer at the very minimum. Yeah. And they went out and got some mediocre innings eaters.
And there he goes. Well, I agree with everything you just said there, John. Hi, everybody. It's the Get On With It podcast. And I guess John and Harry have bailed out a little bit early. We were talking some baseball and talking about the Mets and the Yankees and the trade deadline and how he was the forever Yankee fan, Harry, talking about Brian Cashman and how he is woefully inadequate for the job. And as we have been saying for a couple of years, or as Harry has been saying, at least for the last couple of years, Cashman has to go. And I kind of agree with him. I don't know how he keeps his job. But I would say on the positive side, if you're a Yankee fan, their pitching staff has to get better. These guys are just too good. They can't be this bad for this long. But yes, they could have used a closer, and Clay Holmes is definitely not the answer. And they did get some innings eaters, which is good when you're heading into the dog days of summer and you're getting towards the end of the season, and you at least, maybe want to keep some of those arms in the bullpen fresh. But you've got to they've got to get a little bit of help on the back end of that bullpen if they want to have, and of course their starting pitching has just got to be better, and we'll see if that happens. Let me write a little note to Harry here. Well, come on back in, because he got bumped. I don't know what happened to Johnny froze up on us. And so now it's just me. And I predicted the Mets. Listen, I'm Dr. Gloom and Doom, and I predicted the Mets would never win anything as long as Steve Cohen is the owner. So far, I'm right. But hopefully not right forever. And Mets are disappointing, as we were saying, based on what we all thought they were going to do this year. But positive in that they got off to a horrific start, and then really turned things around with a really nice month and a half or so, almost 2 months. And, got back in it again. They're only a game or so out of the wild card. But if they don't get at least into the playoffs and do something other than get swept, then you have to say it's a disappointing season for the Mets. No, that's right. Harry can't come back in because John is the host and has to put him back in. So I'm just going to put some question marks in the chat box. Beautiful. Let me see if anybody's got any comments. Dave Burns watching from Cedar Hill, Texas. Hi, Dave. Welcome aboard. That was at 9:18. All right, so hopefully I haven't driven you away in the last 4 minutes since it's been just me. Because I don't really do a good show solo. Yeah, not much else to say in baseball. Hey, listen, Oakland's only 20 games under 500, so not necessarily making a surprise run this year. At this point for baseball, given where the Mets are, I'm kind of like what is today? Today is the 7th, so I'll see you in about 3 weeks, baseball. when we get to September, then I will start paying more attention and look at where some of these races are and what some of these teams have done in the past month. But until then, it's just kind of, let's just cruise on autopilot here and see what happens. It should be the time, actually, probably when I'm paying more attention to baseball, because there's not a whole lot going on elsewise. But we do have football and training camp, and we had the Hall of Fame game was last week, I guess, with whoever, Chicago and whoever, and so that is starting up again. Oh, hey, welcome back, guys. Good to see you.
Howdy. We can't hear
Johnny.
you.
Can't hear you, Johnny.
Can't hear you.
You got no volume.
All right, folks. Until next week. Have a wonderful.
We're both frantically texting John. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Pete?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Well, we'll just have. Yeah, I can hear you.
Keep talking in the back.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Just keep talking.
We can't hear you. No. You sound like you're underwater.
All right. What else do we have? Let's see what else we got ready for you. Do we have an over-under?
Do
we have any football? Is there any football you'd like to discuss?
No, not really. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have some new stuff coming up this season.
Right.
We're going to look at.
We're going to have a new beaten by the coin.
Yes. There will be no coin though in this.
Oh, good.
Oh, so no, there will be a coin. Sorry, there will be a coin.
There will be. Okay. Because we, God forbid, we have to do a new song.
No, yeah, that's true. That's probably why. It was really just a math thing. Yeah. So I think we're probably going to do the big football show on the 4th of September, because the Thursday, the 5th, is opening day. So, but I think in 2 weeks, I will reveal the format of our picks this season.
All right.
Which is going to be pretty cool. And then I'll give us a couple of weeks to mull over who we like and what we like. And then we'll, I guess, on the Wednesday, the 4th of September, we'll do our picks. So we got that. We also have a little tournament. We're going to be making selections called Lifespan. And it has to do with quarterbacks in the NFL.
Right.
And there are some that are, at least as of right now, and we'll keep this updated, look like they're going to be starters. They're projected starters, but there's somebody waiting in the wings who would most definitely like to take their job. So we're going to have a little tournament and see who lasts the longest.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll be making our picks on that. So that's a little separate thing. And I got a new sounder for the beaten by the coin.
Oh, good. Hopefully it's short.
It's 10 seconds. 10 seconds just for
perfect. That's perfect.
So we got that. We're going to be looking at second-year quarterbacks. Going to say who's going to be going to call it the same, better, or worse as far as their performance this year. Lifespan. We got the new picks format. So some exciting stuff for football.
Yeah, I mean, does Brandon Ayuk get traded? Are the 49ers a contender without him? Again, somebody, I don't know why he wants out of there so bad, but the grass is always greener. So
yeah, I mean, that's you would think there's enough room for everybody there, and winning makes up for a lot. But he could be one of those guys who wants to be a number one guy. But where's he going to go? Where he's really going to be a true number one? I'm sure there are places, but
yeah.
Do you get the feeling he thinks he's better than at least the 49ers and maybe some other teams think he is?
Well, he's a wide receiver in the NFL. They all think they're better than they are.
Default mindset.
And anyone who's ever come before them. I think if you asked 100 wide receivers in the NFL if they think they're better than Jerry Rice, 90 of them would say yes, and the other 10 would not say yes, but probably think they are. So I don't know. It's we shall see. It's going to be an interesting first couple weeks in the NFL. I think out here in Denver this weekend we might get our first look at the man from Oregon who's hopefully going to be our starting quarterback. But we shall see. You just never know how people pan out. It's and I think the NFL is the most volatile of all sports in that from one season to the next, I think there's the least amount of carryover unless you're the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, so. Right. Yeah. Well, speaking of receivers, somebody who has looked very good, I forget, I think it was a dual practice, is the what's his name? Neighbors of the Giants.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors. Was it they having a dual practice with Cleveland or somebody? I forget who it was.
Did you see who was throwing on the ball though? It wasn't
no, it was Drew Lock.
It wasn't Daniel Jones.
Yeah. But yeah, he looks pretty good, and it's gotten some high praise from a lot of people. So, but well, I don't think they said the same thing about Kadarius Toney, right? They liked Kadarius Toney, and he was a playmaker, but he turned out to be a head case. But I think Neighbors has gotten the same kind of accolades, but without the head case. So
we shall see.
Problem solved for the New York Giants offense. Good
yeah, then look, I'm rooting for Bo Nix this year. That's what I want to see. This is what I want to see happen. I'm not the biggest fan of what's his name, the head coach of the Broncos. I think he's the most overrated head coach ever and kind of an asshole. But I do think it was a smart pick in getting Bo Nix. And I'll tell you another thing. I don't think it's a lock that Russell Wilson's going to start in Pittsburgh. So
I heard some of the professional pundits talking about maybe a dual quarterback situation.
Yeah,
where Wilson is the starter, but you're going to bring Fields in for 15 or 20 plays or something to give you that to give you the option or to use his legs. Kind of like Wilson used to do, but he's old now and doesn't run as well and is more fragile. I don't know if he can make that work, but if anybody can, it's probably Mike Tomlin, right? I mean, he's certainly not going to be if he thinks that's the way to go, and he's got an OC that he thinks can get it done. Mike Tomlin's not going to be afraid to do it.
Is this just the press and the idiots that are on ESPN making shit up, or did we actually hear this from Tomlin himself?
No, I don't think we heard it.
So I'm not gonna. I'm not
speculation,
gonna believe it.
This right? No. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the speculation was, how do you keep these two guys happy? Because look, Fields is not some also ran.
Yeah, no. I mean, whoever out of those two. I mean, basically, Justin Fields, I think, is a younger version of Russell Wilson, who I always thought was a mediocre quarterback, who was a great game manager and won a Super Bowl with a team that had a great defense. I'm not saying he's not a good player. Russell Wilson's not a Hall of Fame quarterback, though. Right. And I don't think Justin Fields is going to be either. But we're going to see.
Wilson should have 2 rings, though.
Yeah, he should.
Like, if he had another ring, then
yeah,
that would boost.
But he doesn't.
But he doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's not because of him.
Well,
bad play calling.
He threw the interception.
He did. But I hear what you're saying. I agree with you in general. He was really, really good when he was on. But I kind of hope this speculation turns out to be. I mean, it could be very interesting to watch, right? It's sort of like the old Wildcat, right? Where
they're not going to get
you bring in your backup quarterback and you'd run an option or just whatever. Sort of like that. I don't think they would actually do that with.
There's going to be a competition. They might have 1 or 2 plays to keep the one guy happy. Odds are one of them are going to get hurt, and the other one's going to have a chance to show what they're made of. I don't think either of them are game changers in Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh is a better. I think the idea that Pittsburgh is that much better with either of these two guys than they were last year with Pickens, or not Pickens. Pickett.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Pickett. Kenny
Pickett. I don't think they moved the needle that much. Look, Russell Wilson's numbers.
Upgrades.
Russell Wilson's numbers were decent. I had the eye test on Russell Wilson. He's just not. He's not going to win you many games.
No, he had good numbers in Denver. He had good numbers.
Okay numbers in Denver, but he had the one number that he didn't have was wins and losses. His wins were not great.
The one that counted.
The one that
they're both an upgrade from Pickett, but not a huge upgrade.
I don't know. I don't think this team is that much better with that. I'm not sure this is this last hurrah that Pittsburgh's looking for. I don't think it's happening. I don't think this saves Tomlin. I think you're going to have another year where they squeak into the playoffs, and that's to his, that's because of him.
Yeah,
but
I'm not fucking done with Apple.
All right. Well, there you go. And that's it, folks. We'll see you later.
Keep talking about Pickett. I've been listening to the whole show on my phone while my computer rebooted twice.
I got nothing left to say unless there's an over-under. I'm going to get the hell out of here.
Well, yeah, I haven't said a word in the last 10 minutes.
Well, then.
All right. So let's get you caught up here.
No, just tell us what you want to hear.
I don't know what you said.
Well, then say what you're going to say. I doubt we talked about anything that you would talk about.
Well, I'm talking about, first of all, Pickett, all right, was Russell Wilson. You had an eye test on Russell Wilson, right? So
Russell Wilson sucks. He's not going to win you any games.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be cool if they had a two quarterback system.
Not
a 50-50, but if they brought Fields in for 10 or 12 or 15
I think
Fields, I think that'd be cool.
I think Fields is clearly at this point a better quarterback than Russell Wilson.
I have to agree with that. And I will be out there. I will be out there watching the Giants and the Steelers on the Monday night game at the end of October. So I will in Pittsburgh. So I'll fill you in on what.
All right.
So, but really quick, you guys couldn't put it up. I couldn't even put it up from any other phone I had, or any other way I was listening. I tried to get on my laptop, couldn't get on that either. But so this was fun. But David Burns is watching from Cedar Hill, Texas. David,
I mentioned him when you guys.
Well, I tried to ask if David was an Astros or Rangers fan via the credible private chat comments, but
gotcha, David. He couldn't hear he couldn't see the private chats for us. So,
I was sending it to Pete so Pete could ask him.
Oh, I got you. Oh, because you were. I got you. I followed because you bounced out too.
Okay, that's what that meant.
This is the worst fucking podcast in history.
I thought you were asking me, am I an Astros or Rangers fan? But
now that's funny.
That's funny. Why would he ask me that?
My computer. I went to download a 1 megabyte file really quick. I went to download a 1 megabyte file. My computer just decided, you know what? That's too much work for me to do. I'm going to reboot. So it went through the entire reboot process, came back up. My mouse didn't work. I couldn't open anything. And then I'm sitting there trying to get it to work.
Is that a euphemism?
Turn it on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was trying to pole vault the whole 9 yards. It didn't work. And then whatchamacallit? And then all of a sudden it just shut down again, was off for 3 minutes, and then went through the reboot process. And here I am back. And I try to get on my laptop and my phone and whatever. So
yeah, it's all part of
now you're back.
It's all part of the charm of what we do.
You got back just in time, because here's the most important part of the show.
What's that?
The over-under.
Before we get to the over-under, one NBA thing.
Oh,
quick question for each of you.
Go for it.
Gordon Hayward is retiring. And Gordon Hayward is the guy that almost beat who in the NCAA championships? Half-court shot off the rim for Butler against Duke. You guys don't remember that?
I don't really care.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Remember Butler, the big underdog?
I remember Spencer Haywood.
Well, Gordon Hayward's had like a 16-year career or whatever.
I remember Billy Haywood.
Now, he also, I think in his first year, I believe it was with the Celtics. He broke his leg rather gruesomely. Do you remember that? Right on the sideline. Like one of those, I don't even think I want to watch that a second time.
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember? Yeah, but he came back from it.
Yeah.
So he missed the shot against Duke for Butler, which if he had made it, would have been the greatest upset in the history of the NCAA tournament. Hands down.
Right.
Bigger than Villanova or Georgetown or whatever.
Right.
Then he broke his leg, came back. I think he played 13 or 16 years, and he is retiring. So my question is, if you were him, would you take your life as it is, missing the shot, breaking the leg, but having a long, productive career? You averaged, I don't know, 15 points a game or something.
Right.
You know, he had a very respectable career. Would you take your life as it is, or would you trade for making the shot and then not playing again after you broke your leg? So
Probably the first
one. Have the NCAA championship and no NBA career.
NCAA championships mean nothing anymore.
Yeah,
I'd
rather have the career.
But you'd be the guy when it did mean something, who made the shot that was the greatest upset in history, and would be to this day, even though it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, I just don't think of him.
Didn't win anything in the NBA. Had a very, I mean, you guys didn't even really know who he was. So his NBA career was not particularly memorable.
He played for the Nets for a long time, didn't he? He was like kind of the number one scoring option for a number of years. Did he play for the Nets?
No.
Who did he play for? He played for a shitty team.
He played for Boston, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon Hayward?
Yeah.
What years are we talking? He just retired, so Hayward, not Haywood.
Oh yeah, Hayward.
The goofy white guy. Who the fuck cares?
He played for
Oklahoma City and
played for the Jazz, the Celtics, the Hornets, and the Thunder. Yeah. He just finished with the Thunder.
Good for him.
So would you take the NCAA championship?
No,
you take the career.
I would take the career.
Take the 16 years in the NBA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Fair enough.
There you go.
All right. Time to get to the over-under.
Over-under. Hold on.
So I'm going to turn on the light here and have a big surprise for you.
Whoa!
You cleaned.
Now,
you committed a neatness.
The shelves of over-under are here along this wall.
Yeah, you just moved
along
things
the back
around.
wall.
Yeah.
I moved my bed. I got a new bed, got a new mattress, and I got an adjustable frame.
Do you sleep in there?
Stuff. I do sometimes when I'm up late. So I did get rid of a lot of crap. None of it was particularly good for any over-under, just a bunch of junk. I finally threw out like my Sirius radio that I've had for like 25 years.
The actual radio one. Yeah,
the actual radio and the antenna and all the wires and all that.
Where the Serbian family that was living there, where did they go?
They live under the new bed. It's a couple inches taller than the old one. So
nice.
And I put.
I think I remember when you got that radio. That's how long. That's how old it is.
Yeah, a guy used to work with a Cablevision. He gave me his old radio, and he's like, "Yeah, here, see how it works. See how you like it." And it was weird because he never canceled the subscription, but I still got all the channels.
There you go.
Well, I used it. Was great for trips up to Canada when I would drive overnight. Everybody in the car was asleep. I would have the satellite radio. So anyway, and I put a map of the world up on the wall there too.
I see that.
I was gonna move the Jets helmet over, but I started to peel it off, and it's been up there for so long, like a little bit of paint started to come off the wall.
Yeah, you leave it where it is. Yeah.
So I'm like, that fat head will move when the house gets sold. So still a lot of stuff around, and I did move the electronic drums out of the room temporarily. I don't really think there's enough.
There were electronic drums in there somewhere?
They were buried in the pile back there.
Jesus Christ.
But I came across my old stick bag.
There you go. How many sticks are in there?
That's the question.
Is that the question?
There's a little tear here.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see a few sticks.
So what's the over under
so
number?
There's a bunch. I don't know. I have not played the drums in probably a dozen years or so.
It's okay.
So I'm not sure how many are in it. There's a bunch of sticks, and I think
we're doing it over under, and you're not counting.
I'll count it up. There can't be that many, so I can count afterwards. But I don't know.
So what's the number?
There's a bunch of sticks, and I'm pretty sure there's a pair of brushes in here as well.
Brushes don't count.
So they don't count. Okay. So
brushes can count. Kill the brushes.
Fuck the brushes.
Want me to kill the brushes?
This ain't a jazz show.
All right. Well, the brushes are out of the mix.
All right, out of the mix.
If it's, I'll say 13.5.
I was going to say 12.5. Nice. 13.5. Squeeze the side. Squeeze that far side. The one opposite the opening. Okay. I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go over. I was going to go over.
All right.
All right.
Get her open.
Let's unzip the bag.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun.
Oh, baby.
Hopefully you didn't hide. All right.
So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
The brushes.
And 2 brushes makes 14.
Fuck the brushes. I said the brushes don't count. Hey, I was almost right on. I said the over-under should have been 12.5.
Yeah,
So-
that was a good call. And I got the booklet for my drum set, which is
Nice.
There you go.
Hopefully there's nothing else in there that you hid 10 years ago.
good. Probably a little something
I heard-
wrapped in tinfoil
I
down in
heard-
the pocket.
I heard something vibrating.
Yeah, the old court. I don't know if you can read it.
Court. I didn't
Court.
even know they made things for drums.
Well, there you
Well,
go.
you mentioned the bass before. There you go. They're a rhythm section company.
Yeah, they don't make drums, though. I don't think so.
No.
Do they?
I don't
Maybe they
think
made
so.
drumsticks for a while.
Maybe they made drumsticks.
Or they.
Maybe. You wanna
All right.
You want to guess what kind of drumsticks they are?
I'm going to go with
These just say 5A on them.
5A.
5A.
Yeah.
So who is the? Yeah, they're all about. So who's the maker?
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint.
All right.
It is a music store.
Sam Ash.
Sam Ash.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah,
So
these
they're
are
on.
all.
So they
These
just
are all
branded
Sam
the
Ash.
cheap, stick.
Yep, cheap sticks. And it's funny. I got one pair of little tiny nubs, and then the rest are big nubs.
There you go.
Some of mine might be my ex-girlfriend. Big nubs. All right, there you
All
go.
right, on that note, there you go. All right.
Good job. Good job.
All right. So, just as a little before we go, just as I gotta pull it in here, but and this was the reason, and me doing this was the reason for the
Reason for the season.
Oh, this is why you got.
this
bounced?
is why I got bounced.
We're gonna get to see the file.
Yeah, this is the reason that I got bounced. Hold on. So let's go to
I
it
will,
here.
I will die if you put it up and you get kicked off again.
No, I won't. I won't. It's
It's a-
because it
it's a-
rebooted. It's fine.
Malicious file.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, if it is, oh, it didn't even finish. Never mind. Can't.
How big was it?
I don't know. How big was it? You sent it to me. It was going to be a preview of the
The
fantasy
file
football.
was as big as
Oh,
the pole vaulters.
it's only like 200K, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
All right. Well, let's just do it from here. Hold on.
it's not very big.
All right, folks. Well, until next time, you can find us on Stitcher, Geezer, Geeker, Beeper,
Squeeper,
Squeaker,
Walker,
OnlyFans,
Squandler,
Squandler,
Squeedler.
Swindler,
Hold on. I can do
Stitcher,
it from here.
Beecher.
Hold on. I should have done it from this way in the first place.
And
I did.
We're not on that. Yeah.
Exactly. Squitcher, pleaser. What did you say?
Squeezer.
Squeaker.
Beaker.
Squibber.
Sleazer.
Sleazer. There you go.
That's the one you really want to be on,
Yeah.
Sleazer.
It's a good That's a good like 80s hair metal cover band name, Sleazer.
Sleazer. All right. So here we go. I should have done it from the phone in the first place. It would have been done. None of that would have happened. Here you go. So this is our brand new beaten by the coin, if you will, intro that Mr. Radio Pete has just done. Here we go. So we're going to intro it right now.
The 2024 Get On With It Podcast Fantasy Football League.
Short and sweet.
Shall
we hear it again?
No. It's very good, though.
That's it. Yeah, we're doing a fantasy football league this year.
It's 10 to 8, and I need to go get food. And everything closes at 9.
Well, it's
yes.
10. There you go. Well, it's 10 to 10, and I need to eat dinner, which is downstairs already, so I can just eat that.
Hey, now. Stop bragging.
So wait, you're saying it's earlier in Denver?
Somehow it is, yeah.
I don't know why that happens.
I don't know
Weird.
what you do.
Odd. So anyway, all right.
I think
well,
it's just somebody fucked up the clocks.
I think that's what it is, really. Yeah. I mean, everybody should be on the same time, and it just should be lighter or darker whenever you are.
Sure, that'd be great. That'd be great as long as it's in your benefit, right?
Right, exactly.
Because God knows everything has to revolve around Eastern Standard Time.
Well, no, it can. Vary it though. Vary it though. Like 1 month it can be Eastern Standard Time. 1 month it can be like Pacific. The next month it can be Greenwich Mean Time. You know, it doesn't matter. So give everybody a chance to get screwed up.
Eastern Standard Time is the most important time zone in the world.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, especially you live in Long Island. That should be like six years behind the rest of the East Coast, with the exception of the Hamptons, just lumped in with Manhattan. Yeah,
and Montauk. Don't forget Montauk.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I don't know. That's 3 years behind.
Hey, last time I was in Montauk, I was drinking a beer with Pete. So there you go. So.
Is that a Billy Joel song? Last time in Montauk.
And the last time I was in Montauk, I was in the place where we were drinking a beer.
Oh, were you?
Not like a month later or so.
There you go.
I was like, geez, I'm out here again. I've been out here in
a month,
20 years. And now within a month, I'm here.
A month or twice.
Yeah. If I lived in Long Island, I would start every day. I'd get in my car and put on Uptown Girl just to.
Well, actually, if you're in Montauk, you put on
just to make my hangover really bad.
Billy Joel, you want to put Down Easter Alexa on in Montauk. So,
oh God,
yeah.
Down syndrome. What?
Down Easter Alexa.
Because he's on the Down Easter Alexa.
That's pretty much it. Right? Exactly. So.
Right in, yeah.
All right. Any parting shots?
Is that the model car that Billy Joel was driving when the fifth time he ran it off the road? And
the Down Easter Alexa?
Yeah. It was a Down Easter Alexis.
Down Easter Alexis.
Down Canyon Lexus.
Was it a car or was it a motorcycle that he ran off the road?
No, definitely a car. That guy can't ride a motorcycle. He would have been dead if it was a motorcycle.
More anyway.
It was like 5 or 6 times, right? He was.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's a few. Yeah.
So,
well, anyway.
He's no Ted Kennedy.
Yeah,
he's a wild man.
True. This is true.
He's a wild man.
Still going though, right?
He doesn't go to Chappaquiddick. So
still singing about meatballs at Madison Square Garden.
No, the residency's over.
But he's not done touring though, right?
No, just the residency.
No, he's still out there. Yeah.
Did you hear the really good news that Aerosmith had to quit?
They're done. Yep.
They're done. Thank
God.
Steven
Steven Tyler is just
30 years
Is there a law?
Yeah.
They've reached their maximum.
It was the only thing that the Congress agreed on this session.
Not done this year was no more fucking Aerosmith.
No more fucking Aerosmith.
That's one thing that completely and truly bipartisan.
America agrees.
More Aerosmith.
Aerosmith has reached their quota and they're done.
Yeah. Ragdoll, daddy's little baby.
I mean, here's the thing. Hasn't it literally been like, what year is this? 2020. Hasn't it been like 40 years since they were really good?
50.
It's been at least closer to that, right?
Well, as soon as the 80s came, they were horrible. So
yeah, like what was
it? But then it was all pop, right? Then it was like late 80s,
late 70s. So what's late 70s? So 40 years, yeah. 77.
I
40 to 45 years.
So 40,
somewhere in the
45.
80s they started to.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really like old. I mean, if you listen to that song, Ragdoll, Daddy's Little Baby, it had the horns.
Yeah.
I don't think he's singing. I don't think he's singing like Ethel Merman.
But that's what it's based on. It's like fucking crappy show tunes. It's horrible. Even with the horns and everything. Oh, God. Yeah. It's horrible.
Well, somebody was
come on up and
about,
see me. That's what
Yeah,
come on.
loving an elevator, living it up when I'm going down.
Somebody
It's-
was talking
it was
about
I'm telling you, kids, anybody who thinks the 80s are good, it was horrible.
no, there was a lot of bad music. There was
There's
great
a
music
lot
in
of
the
bad
80s, but there was
music.
a lot of bad music.
was the line of what was it?
The heart
Was
of
it-
rock and roll was barely beating, and
Oh.
it was not because of Huey Lewis in the news.
No.
No, it was
I think
because
it
of
was
the
Bill
minute.
Burr was
the
talking
Minutemen.
about David Lee Roth
Yeah,
and humbly bibbly zibbly bobbly.
yeah, same
And he
thing.
was like, go back and listen to what is that from Women and Children First or
Yeah.
whatever. There's the Big Bad Billy Sweet William
Yeah.
now. And they're like, there was that
Oh, yeah.
swing. There was that,
Yeah, he was a
and
clown.
in the middle of
Well, he always did that though. I mean, like Ice Cream Man on Van Halen 1. It was
right.
It was that
right.
the beginning of that was
And the middle of was it Feel Your Love Tonight? Ba ba da shooby doo wah.
Ba-ba-da-shibby-doo-wah-ba-da-dum. Right, yeah,
Bill Burr's
exactly.
going like that shit was always there, but then he went solo and like he could let it all out and he became that guy with the
Yeah,
jazz.
yeah, the drums and guitar weren't quite as loud. Yeah,
Right,
Oh, well.
exactly.
Was that the beginning of Yankee Rose when he comes in the video in the headhunter outfit? And he says, "Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut to go."
not in my story. You don't. My doctor says I need an enema. Not in my story. You don't.
I love it. No, it was the beginning of "Dude Looks Like a Lady." The first line of the song was cruising. It was probably the cruising to a bar on the shore. Her picture graced the grime on the door. Other than those two lines, everything they did was pop from like late 80s through today.
Look, not to get into too much of the weeds. Aerosmith had two good songs. To me, they are the most overrated band of all time.
Okay.
That's just my thoughts.
Well, I think if you can go back, to the 70s even and listen to a lot of music, and it's pretty simplistic.
Right.
Well, the 70s stuff was great. It was less simplistic. The 80s stuff was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people succumb to that. Heart did it with much more elegance.
Yes.
Yes. But they were a better band and had.
But
songs.
you could still fall asleep at a concert, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I'm assuming that happened.
yeah.
A quick Aerosmith story. So an album that I owned when I was a child was Aerosmith "Get Your Wings," which is a pretty good album, but So, and I didn't listen to it for years and years and years because I didn't have a record player, it wasn't set up or whatever. And then I got, I think it was Google Music when they first came out streaming. And so I put on "Get Your Wings," and this is probably 25 years after I had last listened to it. And wouldn't you know it, I remembered the words to every song, and I remembered how every solo went. It was just stuck in my mind.
In a file cabinet.
Just from listening to it over and over and over again. And, sitting and like reading all the liner notes and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty amazing. But I also noticed like, oh yeah, it's good, but I didn't think it was great rock and roll.
No.
Like the way not the way I had when I was younger.
Here is the harder question for me than Pete's "Are they for real?" Is if I had to be locked in a room and listen to either Aerosmith or Bon Jovi, I'd rather die.
But what if you couldn't and you had to listen to one or the other?
Oof. Aerosmith has two good songs.
That's your answer to that question.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bon Jovi drives me nuts.
There you go.
That's fucking.
You could probably find
no.
Again, some of the older Bon Jovi.
Nope.
No, social disease, you know.
She's a little run.
I'm fairly certain.
Horrible.
I'm fairly certain.
Horrible fucking
I'm
keyboard.
fairly certain. I remember playing "You Give Love a Bad Name" in one band that we were.
Yeah, but that was horrible.
No,
And-
I don't
and
know
they-
if any of their hits were
Bush-
really
Bush
good
took that
songs.
bass line and made it into a better song.
Yeah.
So there you go. And I know I'm upsetting a lot of women from the 80s recovering from Aquanet syndrome because they.
I'll tell you what,
love
though,
Bon
Bon
Jovi
Jay
and
was a
Aerosmith.
good concert. He put on a good show.
Yeah, I liked when he teabagged people, just kind of swinging through the crowd, teabagging your daughter in the forehead with his nuts.
Goes out on that little track, down,
Yeah.
down.
A little further. Come on. A little more.
Alec John Such didn't even know where he was. He was just fucking roaming around with his bass off. You could be a bass player in the 80s and never have to play anything. It was fantastic.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Anyway. All right.
Next time we'll talk about worst bands from the 80s.
We'll talk about worst bands from the 80s because there are even worse bands from the 80s. But I want to leave you with one piece of homework.
All right.
Between now and the next show, you need to at least a dozen times listen to Haircut 100 Love Plus One.
Haircut 100, by the way, their albums before that, pretty good, pretty interesting, very weird.
Mhm.
I would much rather listen to Love Plus One than Tommy used to work on the docks. I'm a cowboy on a steel. He wrote this down. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive. Somebody wrote those lyrics.
Mm-hmm. He did.
He got against horses.
There you go. Apparently,
Come
that's
on, man. Sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink.
If you really want to hear a great,
times when you're alone
and all you do is think.
If you really want to hear a great band from New Jersey, go listen to Dramarama. On
that
that note,
Dramarama.
folks, good night.
Dramarama. Nice, good band. Absolutely. Find them. Listen, if you can find it, we'll talk more about it next week. On that note, we'll wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. For those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And, of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, and Twitch every other Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, CastBox, Deezer, Podchaser, Refine, Gunner, any of those. Yeah. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you'll find the Get On With It podcast, sports podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Watch the rest of the Olympics. Enjoy it. Enjoy these dog days of summer. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Speaking of bass players who can't play, if you could, would you like Quantum Leap back in time and just be like Kip Winger for a week and just have tons and tons of sex, get AIDS, and then like Quantum Leap out?
Now, for the record, folks, as a disclaimer, no.
Here's
an interesting fact about Kip Winger. Kip Winger is from the Denver area, from Arvada, Colorado. He was a classically trained musician who has written scores and orchestrations and things like that. But yeah, in the videos where he was playing bass, he never once played the bass.
I don't think
he was.
But he didn't have. He didn't have to.
Yeah. Imagine somebody today. Imagine a 30-year-old dude coming out with a song today that became a huge hit with the lyrics. She's only
that was their biggest.
Daddy says she's too young, but she's old enough.
For me.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, bought him probably and the rest of Winger houses. And you can go see them at the county fair this summer, along with REO Speedwagon. Yeah, so I would go catch him
at the county fair.
Who's playing guitar for Speedwagon these days?
Who knows? Who did they have a guitarist back in the day? I can't remember.
Sure.
Yeah.
Richie Sambora, probably.
Yeah, Richie Simber's probably playing.
Didn't he get kicked out of
Sambora.
Bon Jovi?
REO Speedwagon with Richie Sambora.
Featuring Richie Sambora.
REO.
Actually, I think Carlos Santana's going to go. He's going to tour with him. And
That's
play
another
guitar.
one. That's another one. Oh, I'd rather fucking grate my nuts.
So Samurai from the Beer Podcast actually saw Santana last week or the week before at PNC. And he said that the drummer is Santana's wife.
It's Johan Santana?
It's Johan Santana. Is Carlos Santana's wife. And the keyboard player is Carlos Santana's
Is Irvin Santana.
Oh, they're living up to their name finally.
Rafael Santana.
And the catering for the concert is brought to you by Santana and Sons. That I could picture all three of those bands doing a show together: REO Speedwagon, Winger, and Santana. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well.
All right.
So I think this went from one of our worst shows where nobody could stay on the podcast with me, and I had to actually talk to people. Thank God, not that many, for like 4 or 5 minutes solo.
That's great.
And
this is the charm of this podcast.
I'm assuming half of them committed suicide during that
While
period.
you're listening.
Yeah.
But I think we saved it at the end.
Half of one.
They're like, "Oh, John's gone." And, "Oh no, Harry's gone. I'm out."
This is what we've always wanted. You should have had the big reveal. You should have turned the lights on. Should have taken your shirt off and turned the lights on and go. It just ran the scroll for your feed.
I could have done a juicy.
Our numbers would have fucking shot out of the roof.
There you go. That we missed our opportunity. Yeah. We did.
I mean, it would have been like we had the Huck Toe girl on as a guest.
We should get her on the show.
I'm sure we'll never have technical difficulties again. So
no, we never will.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.